So welcome on board to this new episode of Pharoscion Global promoting Make in India, Vocal for Local and Atmanirbhar Bharat campaigns started by Union Government of India. As you have already seen in a couple of our episodes, we have talked about Shark Tank India funded startups. Previous to that, we have spoken to Mr. Gautam Pillai from NextGen, cloud computing and data center and technologies company. And today we have people who like after that you'll be like, oh my god, so we have this alternative already available and we were not even so sure about it and we didn't even knew about it. So these, and I'll not even tell them the name or I'm not gonna let you guys know who exactly are they, what they do, what fantastic work they have done, because that's the problem in India. People are doing great job and we don't even know about them. So on this platform today, we're gonna provide them opportunity where they can enlighten us about, hey, you know what? We have already done this and we are coming up with more such stuff. So we have actually co-founders from Aasaan app, and Aasaan app is actually an app base. If I'm not wrong, they are also going to come with the web base as well. It allows you to build your e-commerce portal in just few minutes. You can come up with a great portal and accordingly start your selling as well. So welcome on board, both of you. Yeah, and it will be our privilege to get enlightened about both of you about the company, and I do have set of questions available as well. And the very first question, as I can see on my screen, is please enlighten us about yourself, individual. Thank you.
I think you want to start?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for having us on the show. Yeah. And I'm Pratik. I'm the co-founder of Aasaan, and I had the digital marketing team as well as the branding team here at Aasaan.
Yeah. So my name is Murali. Basically, I'm one of the co-founders of Aasaan. Aasaan has been founded by our CEO, Mr. Raju. So we have a vision which is very different in terms of what Aasaan has to do for Indian entrepreneurs. It's basically to digitize every local business to grow fearlessly. So that's our motto, that's our vision. So we all go into our backgrounds and we'll talk about more as things go.
Absolutely. So that is about Aasaan, but guys, I'm very interested to know about you as an individual as well. So if any of you and both of you talk a bit about.
I'll tell you about my little path about my journey. So I'm born and brought up in India, but actually left to US about 20 years ago.
Okay.
And 2000 is when I left to US, and then I did my master's, and then I worked there for about 20 years. So most of my adult life has been there. So I've really did a lot of work in IT. And then I came back as a journey to be with my family and parents. And then eventually, with my hands being so full in IT, I came along and started working with Raju to kind of build this whole journey about a company which can actually have a purpose and a vision to actually change lives. And we noticed a lot of different things because of the pandemic as how it happened. And the way we wanted to do it is in two different spaces. But we found out that e-commerce, and especially entrepreneurs who have been struggling and the changing dynamics of the e-commerce with the pandemic, we really thought we should be doing something in that space that could really create a difference. And eventually our journey, our research and the path has brought into Aasaan, and this is where we are. We are now trying to build something which could change a lot of dynamics of Indian e-commerce especially, and it would actually make a lot of Indian e-commerce entrepreneurs on a global level. So that is our aim and that is our goal.
That's really good to know. And Pratik, if you can add your 2 cents to the story.
So like Murali, I was also born and brought up in India, and most of my life I've stayed in India. Then for my master's, I went to the US, and then I worked there for a couple of years, and I worked mostly into the construction field.
Okay.
Then when I met Raju, right, then I really got inspired by what kind of changes the technology can actually bring into the industry. Then I tagged along with him. That's when the entire journey started, and it's been a great journey so far, and we were able to achieve a couple of milestones like in a very, very short time.
Yep. That's really good to know. So how is Aasaan different from the current existing apps? And I don't want to name the best ones or the so-called naive one, but let's talk about our product and how is it really different from the existing ones.
So I think, if you look at the landscape of Indian e-commerce apps and in general global e-commerce apps, right? Especially let's focus on the Indian e-commerce entrepreneur side.
Okay.
There are 2 fundamental things which are lacking. One is the knowledge of how to do online business. And if you know it, what is the cost-effective way of bringing the best technology and using them to your advantage at a very affordable price? These are the two fundamental challenges. So there are apps which serve two different purposes, but there is none which could bring the best out of both and in a single affordable way. So what Aasaan started out was, we want to bring the best of world-class technologies and make it so easy to use that anybody who knows and has the knowledge of mobile phone should be able to start his online business and do it so in a very, very easy and efficient way. So that's been our journey, and that's where these apps, some of these challenges are what we've observed when we're talking to about a lot of entrepreneurs. And this is where we found that this should be the one path where it should be made so easy that it should be easy for them to launch their business, and so that they can focus on their business instead of just implementing or enabling online business. So we take care of all the tech part of it, and they take care of their actual business, because they're good at what they do and we are good at what we do. It's just a good fusion of both in the right way.
That's really good to know. So I'm assuming that the hosting part, the security part, maybe the routing part, etc., and the backup of everything. So is everything covered by Aasaan?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So
we provide the entire technology stack, like the platform, right from creating your website to adding your integrations, like the shipping integrations, the payment integrations, the marketing integrations, SEO. It's an end-to-end platform.
Yes.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, you can even manage your orders, not only from your website, but you can manage your orders from social commerce as well. And we are in the plans of becoming omni-channel, where you can manage orders from Amazon, Flipkart, or any other marketplace as well.
Okay, that's really good to know. And what about the social, like out of curiosity, because that sounds pretty well, what about the integration with social media? Like, are you providing that sort of feature as well, where I can just integrate my, let's say, Facebook or Instagram to my website?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you upload all the products to your application, right?
Yeah.
So just with a click of button, you can upload all your products on Facebook Shop and Google Shopping. Yeah.
That is fantastic.
It's very seamless. It's very few clicks away. And the best part is now you've got access to one platform which can integrate with Google Shopping, Facebook Pixel, Instagram, and showcasing that on your website as well.
Okay. That's good to know. So because for me, and for many of budding entrepreneurs or current entrepreneurs as well, it becomes a challenge that I have to manage. Let's say I have a product catalog available, now I have to upload it separately on 2, 3, 4 different platforms, and if there is a single platform available, let's say off my website, and that helps me to actually integrate directly with my social media channels, that's really saves my time, saves my efforts as well. So that is good to know. So what has fundamentally changed about your work, maybe a bit on your work ethics as well, from when you actually started till today?
So I'll tell you a couple things. The journey has been, when we started out the journey and the way we were building things, when you talk to customers, you really understand the ground level realities. You really understand the ground level necessities in terms of online business. What's missing? There could be a very simple thing which could be enabled in website and which could make their lives easier. I can talk about so many features of those. And once you enable them, the kind of happiness they get is very different. So what I've changed in terms of my focus since we've been working is talk to these customers more and more, understand it, and then universalize all these necessities and to bring them something which could really make a difference, which could make their lives much easier. So my journey in the terms of how I change my approach is customer first. So our research now is more and more just on customer first, understanding entrepreneurs' requirement, business owners' requirements, what do they see, what are the dynamics which are changing. There are things which are coming up which have to be incorporated. Yeah. So that's been the biggest change what I've observed.
So that's really good to know. And anything you would like to add, Pratik, as well?
Yes, so the same kind of lessons, like before this we developed another HR product, but back then we made a couple of mistakes, like we didn't dive deep down into understanding the customer very well. But right now, like every day, me, Murali, like Raju, the co-founder, we're always on calls. We try to understand as much as possible from the customer, understand their needs, and then try to develop the product on top of that. So that has been a biggest lesson. And we are always customer focused and will always be customer focused.
That's really good to know. So what's been the most influential resource or personality or an incident of your career individually?
Oh, I have so many. I think my life has been a journey. It's got a lot of ups and downs. I've been an entrepreneur myself. I've been a failure at few things. I've been a successful at few things. But I've always learned that leadership is something which you're not born with, but you're something you have to take ownership of.
Right.
Like you have to tag along people and ensure that you do some sacrifices so that people can really think that you're a leader. Like
right.
Once you have that, right, there are people who will follow you. I think the biggest inspiration for me has been Abdul Kalam sir. Some of the things which he has done for the country and the sacrifices has been made. And if you read the lessons, right, I mean, it's like you can learn so much from one person's life. You will take a journey to really understand what that is.
Absolutely.
So for me, that has been a more leadership is one of the things I probably had some part of it, but I really evolved into a leader once I started bringing the entrepreneur and also understanding the entrepreneur other side.
Yeah.
So I brought the leadership out of thing, and then Raju is a very good leader, and we follow some of these things what he lays out, and then we add things which would ensure that the vision is implemented. So these are some of the things that got, so a lot of things happen on that side.
And for you?
Yeah, so what I've learned so far is like not be afraid of making mistakes or not be afraid of being failed.
Yeah.
Because being on the marketing side, right? So you need to experiment with a lot of creatives, create a lot of creative content. So if you only think like only like these things work, and if you're afraid of trying something new, right, the creativity doesn't come out. So that is one of the biggest thing that I have learned so far. And I would say like I don't follow a single entrepreneur, but I'm a really great fan of Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah.
It's really good to know. One is too much towards or showing his or her respect towards Rocket Man of India, Abdul Kalam, and the other one is with the greatest of greatest influencers, I should say, and obviously the innovators, marketing guru ever had, Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg sort of stuff as well, people as well. That's really good to know. So how do you showcase the fineness of your technology and like help entrepreneurs start their online businesses with minimal effort? Because nowadays what happens, if we consider Amazon or Flipkart or other such portals available, they have a lot of processes which they really have to go ahead with in order to, I'm talking about from customer's perspective. So it takes a lot of efforts of them to actually get their catalog or their product uploaded eventually on the portal. So how do you really solve this problem and with minimum effort, maximum return sort of thing? So how Aasaan helps this? Because as the name suggests, Aasaan, so customers, I'm assuming, will be really looking forward for that particular solution. Yeah.
So one thing that we're really focused on is making the onboarding process really easy. So whenever we do the digital marketing, right, we mainly focus on people signing up for demos, because that is when we can actually showcase our product. We can understand the customer's problems, we can understand their needs and show the right features, right?
Yeah.
So we are really focused on that. And then we are coming up with something called Aasaan University. So here we plan on educating all the small and medium businesses. Like we have different kind of use case scenarios where a customer might not understand how to take a picture of a product, like, or add a description of a product. So there are different use cases where there are so many things that the customer might not understand, right?
Yeah.
So we're trying to create a university and the kind of content where all the small and medium businesses can get empowered and will make that process easy for them to start their online business. So we are very focused on content marketing, as well as all our digital marketing is focused on generating demos. So that is where we do most of our branding.
That's really good to know.
Let me add to that onboarding experience, right? I think some of the things if you observe even personally, and I think we can learn from our kids as well, as when they want to get to the real content or the real fruit inside any app, right? They don't want too many hurdles coming into it, right? So they just want to get to the core of it as quick as they can. So what happens is the onboarding process and the steps which we have, we've really thought through how many steps should be there so that they can get to the crux of it, because they really want to come and really launch their website very quickly. And once they come in, we ensure that the UI UX part of it and the layout of the app is such a way is that they can navigate towards that is very easily. Like they know where to go and click on edit for a website editing. They know where they can click this. What is a widget? We know where it is laid out. All these things add to the experience about how easy it is, because when you look at other websites and they become clunky, it becomes very difficult for them. For actually onboarding themselves to build a website, they have to now watch a YouTube video to actually look at it and understand, right? You know what?
Absolutely, yeah.
Now you got to call someone, kaise kare? This is not going to work. So we want to make it intuitive. I mean, the Indian entrepreneurs or Indian business owners, Indian consumers are very, very tech savvy.
Yeah.
This is one of the really good thing about our technologies. All the people have mobile phones these days. So we want to ensure that onboarding experience really stays with no hurdles and with very, very minimal effort. They can launch to the crux of building their online business.
Absolutely.
So that's been around.
And moreover, like, I feel like sometimes entrepreneurs get this ad, one click and your website is ready, right? And one click and your e-commerce portal is ready. And I feel like, how is that even possible? How people make fun out of the ad, or what people will really consider. But I'm assuming with Aasaan as well, there will be few steps in order to achieve it. So let's say in order to make that happen, the complete onboarding process so smooth, what is your top online tool, or resource, which is obviously embedded with Aasaan, or it's a homegrown, tool or product you would like to talk about, or any such feature?
Absolutely. So I'll tell you the biggest feature is our website builder. The first one. The second is basically our checkout experience and the UI UX of our website.
Okay.
So the whole experience about the website, because let me talk about the website builder. It will be an understatement if I say that you can really build a website using a mobile app. That statement is not valid unless until I show you. And if I show you, you will believe me that you are able to create any website within the world with a fundamental click of the layout, whatever you want, in a very, very easy way. And you can preview it, publish it in an instant. And I can guarantee you, if you have, I think next time we should probably do a demo just on that.
For sure.
And that will be an understatement. That's what I'm saying. So, and the easiness of it and how we can do it is the biggest strength and the biggest feature what we have. The second part is basically the whole experience about the richness of the website. What you want to offer your customers is basically a reflection of your business, right? If your storefront or the website is not rich looking, it's not easy to navigate, it is not performing well, it doesn't have a really nice loading speed, if it doesn't have a good checkout experience, all these things would really, even if it's security, right, the certificate, if it is not adding to all these, people will not buy a product from any entrepreneur's website. And these things are very fundamental, which are run behind the scenes, which we take care of. And this is very, very a core of how an entrepreneur can be successful. Just by using these two things, most of our customers have been so happy that they've just wanted these things besides the other really, really good features. And on the top of it, we always have really good integrations, easy to use methodology, connecting to anything is always on that. But these two features really stand out: the website builder and then the whole website experience, adding to all those things.
That's really good to know. So, like a lot of people, and obviously government has become now more vigilant about data protection as well. So I'm assuming our servers are in India only, or they are in India only, right?
All the data is pretty much locked in, and it is only having the data reside only in India. This is Indian customers, Indian entrepreneurs' data and their customers. And I'll tell you a couple things to add to the data privacy. We are very, 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 very adamant about how data privacy should be protected. The biggest thing I'll tell you is all our customer information and everything is completely encrypted. The second best part is, I know there are where people create these apps, but some of people never give you an option to delete your account information. We provide that so that you can, if you're not happy, this is something not for you. You created your store, we give you information. We give you the option to delete instantly. We have no questions asked. Because that is important, because a lot of people are scared about giving their phone numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there are a lot of other aspects which we do technically, but absolutely this is completely protected and completely encrypted, and all the data is hosted only in India.
That's fantastic. No, sorry, that's my. Oh my goodness! Like after knowing this, that everything is actually grown in India and made in India and make in India stuff. So I think I'm getting more emotional, or I'm like, okay, bas itna hi kafi tha aaj ke liye. So, but anyways, take it.
We have a lot more to say. There's a lot more things as we talk.
Absolutely, about. I have a lot of in my bucket. It's not even half of it. Wait for it. I'm ready to shoot more. Yeah. So, like a lot of people are actually. And are really interested to know this point which I'm about to ask, and you'll be enlightening for sure, both of you. What is that one thing, or you can come up with more such stuff as well, which in your particular industry, your competitors as well as your customers should start doing, and the one thing which they should immediately stop? So for example, competitors you have already, they must be doing something which you believe that, no, this is not how customers should be facing such challenges. This is how they should be really doing it. And for the customers as well, let's say if I have a water bottle business particularly, but it's a very fancy one, I'm coming to your app and I'm going to build my online store through your app. One thing which I should be doing while I'm on Aasaan, and one thing which I really should be avoiding being on the platform, both from competitors' perspective as well as from customers' perspective. Yeah.
One thing that I see our competitors should focus on is mainly on the UI UX part.
Okay.
So because our customer, right?
Yeah.
So in order for him to become successful, in order for someone to come and shop from his website, right? We see that the website UI and the checkout experience is the most important one.
Right.
And we have always been very, very focused on that, and we've been able to develop a really good product around it.
Okay.
So I think that is something that is lacking on our competitors.
And I think I think let's talk about being in general, right? For the health of the industry, right? They have their own business models, they have their own approaches. We cannot probably understand them unless we're in their shoes, right? So, but again, seeing it from an outer perspective, there are a couple aspects certainly I see as a differences. The more and more Indian entrepreneurs are placed as Indian apps place their customers as customer first, we will see good results for the industry, which is a good sign for the business.
Absolutely.
It's a good sign for everybody. And I think as their customers are happy, entrepreneurs drive themselves to be more tech savvy. They will also drive them to be more on the world, implementing world-class technologies and giving the best out of them to their customers. Once the customers are happy, entrepreneurs are happy. Entrepreneurs are happy, the businesses which are trying to provide these services are really going to be in a really good shape. So
Absolutely.
The whole circle should meet up at a point where the customer the focus is to make the customer happy, really understanding the needs. I think everybody will fall into place. Everybody will have a nice thing to work on.
And moreover, as your solution is already providing it, one should be really focusing on the product line and should not be worrying about how will it look, or how I'm gonna make sure that the payment and checkout is happening smoothly and stuff like that. So this is really good that your product is actually solving that problem. Along with that, the UI and the UX part is also being taken care of. That is an add-on as well, because a lot of, let's say if I talk about the cPanel itself, back then when we used to host our websites usually, oh my god, people really need demos in order to understand how cPanel works, etc. like this. But nowadays the hosting side of stuff and the security, data protection, which you have already spoken about, as these are into consideration already by default, like platforms of yours, it becomes very easy for an entrepreneur likes of, who is into business and particularly who into commodity and stuff like that, to actually just come on board, sell their products and eventually grow. Right, so that is fantastic to know. So
let me add one thing. Sorry, let me add. In terms of technology, right? I think I just have two features what Aasaan has implemented really good. So we have what we call as image settings, right? From a experience standpoint, people have a very big challenge in the industry in terms of the images. They don't understand what is 1:1, 2:1, what is the size. 1920. It's technical, right? The entrepreneur wants to just get his pictures uploaded, make sure the website feel is really nice. So what we've done is we've introduced feature called image settings, fluid settings. This will ensure the products, the images, the sliders, the banners, they all align to the look and feel of website. And then we do auto compress. We do auto compress of images on the website, so the loading speeds are faster. Because if you go to a tier 4, tier 5 cities, you might not get a really good 4G speed, right? But again, you want the same experience.
Absolutely.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
So all these things are really done in the behind the scenes, just to make sure that our entrepreneurs' customers are happy. So these are the things which everyone has to understand about how the dynamics of Indian e-commerce websites work. Just to add to that.
No, absolutely. And this is very important as well, because we are in similar industry where, we help our customers to sell online and stuff like that through marketing and branding, etc. It becomes very challenging sometimes, with the image which they are sending, and then they are not happy. You have to optimize it. You have to make it pixel oriented so that it fits in to the app or to the social media platform or to the website as well. So if this is also being solved, then absolutely one of the most look after feature for sure.
So it's just a button. It's an Aasaan button.
Obviously, with Aasaan we can absolutely expect that as well.
You can rely on that.
Yeah. So let's take the journey ahead with a bit on your personal side as well. And I have a very interesting question now. So, what do you both wish your younger self, like maybe 10 years back, should be knowing about your current role, and accordingly you could have adapted yourself? So if each of you can enlighten us about it, your younger self. Consider I'm your younger self, and now you're going to speak to me, so I'm all ears.
So I'm on the digital marketing side, right? Mostly on the creative side. So one thing a lot of the ideas that I get is through observing. So whenever I see an ad on the internet or a TV commercial, right? So I tend now, because I'm into digital marketing, I tend to observe on all the nuances from them. Like I tend to get a lot of feedback from there, and then I start brainstorming a lot of ideas. So one thing that I have learned from the last 10 years or something is trying to be more observant, and you can learn a lot from your surroundings, right? So I think I should have been more observant.
Copy that. I'll do that for you from today onwards. Yeah. And what about you?
I would say I should have probably cut down 10 years of my life. Right? I would probably realize what I could have probably had really good moments, which changed a few moments in life to make it even better. But again, see, I'll tell you one thing. I've seen a bit older. I've seen ups and downs of life, but everything happens for a reason. Absolutely. I'll be honest with you, and there is only good things ahead as long as you stay positive. You're not too worried about some things not happening to you in the right way and stuff. As long as you're focused and stay really right to your path, really disciplined to your goal, things will happen for sure. I think I would probably learn more about the wisdom part of it when I was young, because I could have probably taken many risks. I'm a calculated risk taker, but I wish I could have taken much more. But again, this is how life works. Everything is not perfect.
That's really good to know.
I never reached for perfect. That is never there.
I think that silver line is very hard to achieve, and I think it's impossible to achieve, because if you say this is perfect, somebody will come up with more perfect version of that particular perfect as well. So that is understandable.
Very true.
Yeah. So I now know that Kalam Saab and Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg are your role models, obviously. So what are the key features or key lessons from their life or from their journey you have identified and you have decided that, I have to adapt it in my life as well, or in my business as well, if you'd like to talk about individually?
So the thing is, you should always dream big, because if you don't believe in that, right?
Yeah.
You can't do very huge impact in this world. So that's what I have learned from Steve Jobs, because he always believed in making a dent in the world, right? Yeah. And he always believed that all the dots get connected, right?
Yes.
So that is one of the biggest lessons. So anything, like I've been into construction, now I'm into technology. What I believe in is, at the end of the day, all the dots are going to get connected. And we very much believe that our product is really going to make a lot of impact for small and medium businesses in the country. So we really believe that, and we believe that that's going to happen. So, yeah.
So for me, I think failures teach me more than success. I think I've seen failures, and I've seen enough things which were disappointing only for that day, but that taught me so much that what I should be doing right in the next instance when the same thing happens.
Yeah.
And I think we all been crazy. We all been doing things sometimes in a non-standard ways and stuff. But you learn the discipline as long as you understand what you're doing wrong. I mean, if you look at a lot of these great people, great entrepreneurs, like Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Kalamji, Mr. Modi, you talk about all these are really great visionaries and leaders. They've all done things to start learning. I mean, they've seen failures, they've seen ups and downs. But the one thing you always remember is their conviction to succeed, the thing to dream big. Like Pratik said, I mean, these are all the things which you have to have in your psychology. Is like, okay, I'm going to achieve this no matter what. These things are not going to stop me. One day will be bad. Well, not every day cannot be bad. Right?
Yeah.
But these things are very, very fundamental for every entrepreneur, not only for ourselves, but everybody. Like today, if there's a bad day, forget it. Move on. Just get to the next day, and you repeat the same thing. That consistency is what will achieve your success. No matter what, the consistency and discipline is the core thing. You just have to keep your head down, work hard, and those things will eventually pay you dividends that you'll have less time to even enjoy, because there is more responsibility coming after that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, these are great people who have brought great things to us.
Those were really words of wisdom from both of you, and keeping in mind that even my journey so far has taught me one thing for sure. Every day, and I think every entrepreneur feels and go through the same phases. It's a sinusoidal wave you will observe in your business career, entrepreneur life as well, that it's a day, oh my god, let's say we got a millions of funding, or that's our first sale, that's our 1,000th sale, etc. And maybe the days will be like, oh my god, I don't know what's really happening. So I think it becomes very important for budding entrepreneurs as well, and obviously the people who are into business currently, that they should be making sure that they're not gonna choke up so easily. They should not be giving up so easily. They have to stick. And for sure, the lives of Rocket Man are, and maybe from Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, people who have done wonders in their life, have teach us the same stuff. So that's really good to know, and I really echo with both of your words as well on the same topic. So moving ahead, like when you first started, actually, right? And what's something that was more challenging than you expected, that okay, I know that I'll be facing some challenges in this, but oh my god, it is like I didn't expected it to be of such great amount or of such great pressure. So individually, because you both are from a bit different domains, which you are managing in your current organization as well, if you can talk about.
Sure. So one of the biggest challenges that we never envisioned was creating the trust, because we are a new brand, right? So people they tend to trust in the bigger brands, right? So creating the trust in them, like, okay, so product is one side, because everyone's satisfied with our product, but a lot of the people fear. I don't know for what reasons, but
maybe again, data protection can come into
data
picture.
Protection and everything comes.
If my website goes down and stuff like that, people might be thinking, and they may be not even knowing about the app as well. Yeah, so that could be one of the things. Yeah.
So so that is the main challenge, that from the marketing side and from the sales side, right? So even like building a very great product, so we never envisioned this would be a really big problem, but we are facing that challenge.
I think the other aspect is, right, the perception what we carry today, that some things will happen based on the information what we have today, is not always right the next day.
Right.
I'll tell you a lot of examples for that. Is what we think we are building today might not be, and some customer would say that this was something they want, this was something would work, and the next day the whole perception changes because of how the dynamics of the technology and whatever they see in terms of information about a particular product, their perception changes. So again, now you have to live up to that perception.
Yeah.
Now you have to live up to that changing dynamics of it. So we always have to keep an open mind in terms of how these things evolve. So at the end of the day, you're really happy and stuff. The next day you might get disappointed. So being modest and just waiting until things happen. Even when the things happen, being modest has been the simple part where it always helps, because I've done the mistake as well, and I've learned from it. I think that's where the journey has been also, to really stay focused on just implementing the vision. Never expect the results will come no matter what.
Yeah.
But if you stick that I'm going to get it today, it's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
It's never going to happen.
And moreover, I echo with your words on, like how I can take it is like, you need to be agile. Because if you've been agile enough in your business and understand the flexibility it can bring, understand that customer's perspective and mind can change, and you really have to adapt accordingly. If you follow these things, then you can eventually grow, year by year, quarter by quarter, etc. as well, and it makes your life very easy to be agile enough.
Just to add there, right? This is something our development team has really scaled up to the expectations beyond even my means or anybody's means.
Yeah.
And we all know that how these things evolve. And these guys have stepped up monumentally, like really scaling up to things and giving things which are even very hard to implement, and turning it into such a great things for entrepreneurs, because they always kept in mind about what the entrepreneurs would need, and how to make it easy and efficient, how to make it convenient, and because that will solve their problem, right? Even though these guys had to stretch their nights doing it, implementing it, and doing it. This has been the greatest strength of what Aasaan is our development team. It's like these guys are really smart and really understandably well aware of the changing dynamics, and give what their customer needs. And that's the best part about why Aasaan has been super successful till now, and we will be in the future, is how these guys have done their jobs really well.
That's fantastic to hear. So on the future part itself, then, like, what future do you really see of your industry, let's say in 5 years? Because 5 years is not too much. Obviously, from technological perspective, a lot of things will change. But from business perspective, from industry perspective, what is the future of your industry?
So I would think, because there's a lot of potential for the small and medium businesses. Right? But a lot of small and medium businesses as of now are not online. So once they come online, there's a huge opportunity out there. If you have seen, right, once the pandemic started, or even before that, like 10 years ago, we have seen a trend where people are getting adapted to shop online. Nowadays, like, when any consumer, before buying a product, more than 80% of the consumers research online before they try a product. So we envision that all the small and medium businesses, or anyone who has a product to sell, right? They should take the omni-channel approach. I wouldn't say like selling through retail is wrong, but they should have the retail approach as well as
the digital approach.
Digital approach. They should sell from their website. They might be selling on marketplaces or social commerce. Let it be anything. But being omni-channel is very essential in the next 5 years and beyond that as well.
And I think I'll approach it in two different ways. The omnichannel is very important. That's been our focus. The other part, I'll give you an example. We have one of our customers who's from Gorakhpur, Bihar. Okay, he's a small business owner. He sells books. He's got a very limited inventory, but good inventory, and he wants to come online. But his eagerness, he's a 50-year-old customer, but he's very tech savvy, but he wants to come online. So imagine this 5 years from now, where you are able to really empower these kind of entrepreneurs who are in somewhere close to any part of India. If they could reach, they might have, I'm not talking about books, you can have a really good handicraft made product. The product is king there, but there is a gap in showcasing that to the actual customer who might be in Tiruchi, who might be in Kashmir, who might be in Gujarat, right? This customer reach is when this guy searches for a product, they should be able to find anybody out there who has got a similar product or of that quality of the product. So our job is to ensure that the whole ecosystem of the buyer and the seller and the entrepreneur and the product owner should stay alive in terms of joining all these people in a very cohesive way, and ensuring that the Indian customer is at the end very happy and the entrepreneur is happy. Because that's where the Atmanirbhar Bharat is. People will be willing to launch themselves, building something, creating something, ensuring that the vision of theirs, say some kid comes back and says, okay, I'll design something. They should now have, the only thing which should be bothering them is to how to create it, not how to sell it. Because selling it and the platform, the reachability of the customer, the showcasing of the platform, and then even selling not only in India but globally, because we're going to be a global world no matter what.
Yeah.
So Indian entrepreneurs should be able to sell not only in India but all over the world, so that their product, their business shines through every part of the world. Because who knows, somebody might be ordering a bit of a handicraft from Gujarat in Chile, right? They might be. Who knows, right? We might have some connections. So these things should be facilitated as we progress. That's my goal, and that's what I see in the coming up years, that the whole business dynamics would change.
Absolutely. That even I feel that, it should be like, person who has some skills, maybe an artisan who has built something in Kanyakumari, or maybe in Port Blair, let's say, they should be able to sell it in Kashmir, or as you have said, in Gujarat side, or anywhere in Assam, in Mizoram, anywhere. And they should not be worrying about the technology on which they can actually sell it. They should be only worrying about, okay, this is my art, and this is how I really gonna, design it, make it, and selling part, let apps like Aasaan, takes care of. That's really good to know. I have a very interesting question now for both of you. If you will be giving an opportunity to write a book, what will it be about? Is it gonna be your entrepreneurial journey, or is it gonna be something else?
I can answer that. I'm a bit of bookie myself, but I've already figured out. My word in the book I'm going to write. I'm still doing myself. Is always Google yourself. Is search within yourself. Because I'll tell you, life will find its own way. The biggest part is you only really need to find motivation. You really do not need to find a goal to work on by looking at others. If you just close your eyes, look in within yourself, you'll probably find the inspiration or the things you need to work on. And I think eventually things will fall in its own place. So my biggest thing is just search yourself is going to be my book.
Wow. And don't search through Google, I should say, yeah? Good to know. So, your both suggestions for upcoming entrepreneurs to, toil day and night of hustle, and how they can become more successful. If you both can give few advices.
I just lost you for some time.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. I hope I'm audible now clearly.
Now is better. Yeah,
perfect. So I was asking that, maybe your sense, your advice to people, to budding entrepreneurs, that, okay, you should be doing this, you should be doing that in order to scale your business, because a lot of entrepreneurs must be, watching this episode right now. So if you can enlighten them, and both of you for sure, because I'm quite sure such great minds will be having a lot to talk about on that front. Yeah.
So I would say the first thing, that before you venture into any new business, right, the first criteria is, first thing, you need to understand the market. Do a lot of market research. Talk to as many people as possible within the industry, or your customers, potential customers, right? In that way, you get a very big head start, because you don't just start developing product just based on your ideas, right? You start developing the product based on the customer needs. So I would say that before you start anything, market research or understanding your customer, going on the ground, doing the research is a must. Okay. And after that, you just venture into the business, and then it's all about like taking risks, learning from your mistakes, and then you can grow from there.
That's really good to know.
Advice is a big word. I would say suggestion, because no one needs an advice these days, but again, the only people who can do that is probably your parents. But again, I would say suggestion is exactly what Pratik said. I think is research. Always do not think about what you can make, but you can always think about what you can sell as well. Because if you make a really good product and you don't know how to sell, your whole vision, your motivation dies down. So I want people to really understand the selling part, because as Indians, right, most of the people are very good at what they make, but that sometimes we lack in that skill set as how to sell. Which is where the marketing kind of things comes up. So the whole business of entrepreneurship is end-to-end, from product creation to product selling. So learn all the nuances, learn all the things, do your research, and there is never information which is not useful, because these things are very, very fundamental. And I would say the smallest of the things are the biggest of things which will surprise you. Like even small about packaging your product. They'll say, let's put it in a box. No, it is not. it is very important that the customer, you have to understand the customer persona. So yeah, it's a journey. So you have to just look through all these smaller details into larger picture, and then just do those things, and you'll eventually be successful.
That's great to hear. And I was actually reading a book recently called as Good to Great Companies, and I found out similar stuff. And it's written over there that, if you are so sure about your business, then find out these three things, if they are into connection or not. The first, are you really interested to do it? Perfect.
Yes.
Can you actually sell it? Awesome.
Yes.
But is it going to be a profitable or not? That is also there. You can sell it, but eventually it's like पैसा बह रहा है गंगा में, so that will be of no help either.
I don't know how to sell. It's like you sitting in somewhere near a beach where there is no people and you're trying to sell pakodis, right?
Yeah.
So who are there to buy it? I'm good at making them, but who's there? No one's there in a lonely beach.
Absolutely.
To sell as well. Yeah, it's important.
Absolutely. That's really good to hear. And so if we talk about Pharoscion Global particularly, what we do, we are helping businesses to transform their business through digital, avenues available. We help them, on cloud computing side of stuff. We help businesses on branding and giving them the needful advice how they can go ahead with their businesses too and take it forward and come up with more, you can say with more enthusiasm that, okay, this is all about our product or about our services, and accordingly you can opt for it. So, like companies like of ours, if they would like to associate with Aasaan, is there any affiliate program running, or is there anything which, how we can associate with Aasaan, let's say?
So we have an affiliate program which is for anyone, like digital marketers or a tech company or designers or coders or any influencers in that sense, like bloggers or YouTubers. So anyone can become our affiliate.
Okay.
And once they become an affiliate, right? So if our affiliates get us a subscriber, we are offering them 20% commission lifelong. So suppose like you have a subscriber for 10 years or 20 years. The amount of revenue that you make on your subscribers, right? We pay it on a monthly basis, depending on the plan. If it's an yearly plan, right? We pay the affiliate commission on a yearly basis. If it's a monthly plan, we pay the commission on a monthly basis.
Okay.
It's 20% commission fixed lifelong.
Okay, so to actually, it is for everybody. If you are planning to associate, then yes, there is a finance part that comes into picture, and 20% is not that bad. Eventually, you have to be word of mouth, or maybe through your social platforms or channels available, profiles available, talk about Aasaan, and you can be their affiliate partner as well. That's really good to know, by the way. And this actually brings us people to end of this episode as well. I see that time really flies so fast. Yeah, I'm like, okay, अभी तो 2-3 सवाल पूछे बहुत बाकी है, but I understand you two have much more to do as well, and our audience will be like, okay, when's the next episode gonna be? So thank you both for your time. Yeah, it was really nice speaking to you, and I'm glad that we hosted today Aasaan. The reason is people should be knowing about that there are a lot of such products which are grown in India and people are not even aware of them, right? So this is the right time when Make in India, Vocal for Local and Atmanirbhar Bharat comes into picture. Promote as much as you can, and if you can't promote, at least watch the videos so that you can understand more and more about these brands, their stories, and the great stuff which they are doing. So again, thank you so much both. Yeah, it was really amazing speaking to you. And yeah, you were saying something.
I just want to say thank you to you. I'm really thankful. This is going to be a really good thing what you're doing. I think this is where all the connecting of the dots could happen. This will reach out to so many people and so many young entrepreneurs or older entrepreneurs where they need information.
Yeah.
And this is what you're doing. You're doing a really good job, and good luck to you. And we'll certainly be in touch with you, and we'll always open to anything which comes to help you out. Absolutely, we are here.
Thank you so much. And I should say all kudos to my team. I'm just the bagpiper. It's the team who is actually, doing the needful stuff. So wonderful speaking to both of you, and we shall connect again for sure. Maybe as an affiliate, who knows? Yeah. So very soon.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And that was really all from this episode. We shall speak to our audience as well. Whatever questions you have, feel free to ask in comment box, and we shall be responding as well. Thank you so much for your time. Have a nice day.